He's pulling out my gun! He's going for my gun, partner! He's got a gun. Put the gun down!
Whenever LAPD officers fire their weapons, Robbery Homicide Division is called.
I'm Lieutenant Ken Lady, Homicide 3. We handle all the officer-involved shooting investigations, all the law enforcement-related deaths, and any deaths that occur in the jail system in the city of Los Angeles. And when you have any one of those incidents where an officer fires his weapon and strikes somebody in a tactical situation, that's when our detectives go to work.
The officer-involved shooting section was first organized in 1970 to investigate use of force incidents, that primarily being shooting incidents initially by our police officers. The most notorious cases that we've handled in the past 20 years has been the Black Panther shooting in the late 60s, the Symbionese Liberation Army shooting in the early 70s, and the Eula Love shooting.
We look basically at three things, and that's the officers' tactics, their decision to draw their weapons, and their ultimate decision to use deadly force.
The misconception that this is Dodge City and we have a bunch of Wyatt Earps here is totally untrue. Probably the most high-anxiety situation any officer will ever become involved in is a shooting situation. In that one split-second decision he makes, he can be looking at losing his job, getting filed on criminally, or ultimately losing his house, his savings, and everything he's worked so hard for.
While patrolling the Los Angeles Marathon, two officers were about to have an experience they would not soon forget.
We were attacked by a male, approximately 22 years of age, quite large.
And suddenly, a unknown suspect just hit me without provocation.
I wasn't aware of the fact that the suspect at first struck my partner. He just came over and cold-cocked me.
They're frightened.
And I was kind of dazed. I didn't know where my partner was.
My partner was already at the bottom, and the suspect was on top of him.
And this particular officer is actually climbed up on the suspect, attempting to take him into custody.
I felt his hands was reaching my gun.
He's going for my gun, partner!
He shouts out that, he's going for my gun, he's going for my gun.
The suspect is attempting to obtain his weapon. You could only imagine what would take place if this suspect is able to take possession of the officer's weapon.
I was thinking of my partner, I was thinking of my gun, I was thinking of my life, I was thinking that it's automatic lawsuit for me all at once. He grabbed my partner's gun and wrestled to the ground.
He and I are continually struggling, tugging back and forth with the weapon, directly pointed at his chest. I managed to fire one round.
And the suspect ultimately releases his grasp of the officer's weapon. They rendered first aid. However, the suspect did die as a result of the single gunshot wound at the scene.
The officer-involved shooting team from Robbery Homicide made us feel comfortable, provided us with phone calls if we needed to our family members.
And it's our job as the detective is to, number one, get to the truth of the matter. Whether it's good news or bad news, we're going to find out exactly what happened.
They came down and reassured us of what we did was the right thing, the thing that we needed to do at the time.
Because they're very professional and they know what they're doing, and they're very experienced people. And also they know what officers been involved in shooting feel like.
It's also our job to get these officers calmed down, because although they know what they tried to do out there and they know that it was right.
When you've been involved in a major incident, it's extremely traumatic. You're not satisfied that they had to shoot somebody. Yes, that may be part of the job, but that's not what they're here to do.
Speaking from experience, when an officer decides to use deadly force, it's absolutely the most traumatic thing that he'll ever do in his life.